Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, Kay.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm
Uh,
not bad at all.
I'm not 100% today because I went and I got my vaccination on Sunday. You got yours, was it last year or earlier this year?
Last kid, your sense of time gone.
My sense of everything gone. My sense of smell gone. My sense of taste gone. Everything is gone. But was it earlier this year or late
Yeah,
last
it
year?
was like
Earlier
it
this
was. Yeah,
couple
yeah.
months, yeah. So I went and I got my first shot yesterday, Sunday, and I have not had really bad symptoms, but I've had symptoms like when you get in the flu, you feel sort of out of it, and
Drained.
you're drained and your body pain up, and then the injection site, that entire arm hurting like hell, even though. But yeah, took my Panadols and everything, and the only good thing, well, not the only good thing, but I slept, and I've not been able to sleep like that in months. So I'm feeling very refreshed, though still I'm very tired, but at least I'm refreshed. So yeah, that's how I am this morning. You're looking bright as ever with your red lipstick, Mo.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I try.
All right, so guys, coming up on the show, the tech word of the day and our trivia question. And in today's tech segment, we have four big news stories that we think you'd be interested in. So, over 150,000 Jamaicans to benefit from a 5-year digital skills program.
Mm-hmm.
That's according to the Ministry of
Education, youth, and information.
Education, Youth and
Mm-hmm.
Information, right? And the Caribbean region leads the world in CBDC rollout, a central bank digital
Bank digital
currency
currency.
rollouts. Yes, so the Caribbean is leading the world with that. NCB is going to be dropping a Cash App, Jamaica's version of Cash App, Monique. It's called The Link, and we're going to be talking about that. I don't like how your face make up already, Monique. I need positivity from you, okay?
Okay, okay.
And last but not least, the CCJ, or the Caribbean Court of Justice, has gone completely virtual with virtual courtrooms, and that's thanks in large part to some equipment donated by the Jurist Project, and it's a Canadian funded project for judicial reform and institutional strengthening. So they are benefiting from that, and that's some amazing stuff. And what is coming up on Technically Speaking, Money?
On it, technically speaking, we're talking to three absolute powerhouses who have built their own online brands, their own online communities, and have really been able to leverage their positioning and what they're doing to become profitable and to start sustaining themselves. We're talking about Jhunelle Jureidini of Simply Local Life, Ashley and Dennis, also known as Ashley Carla, and Lisa-Gaye Shakespeare of Shakespeare Agency, all CEOs, all girl bosses, boss ladies running the thing, head of the pack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and making money from their creative output, which is
Yes.
interesting because we're going to talk about that in our word of the day.
Yes.
Monique is going to tell you why what they're doing is so interesting when we get to our word of the day. But before we go there, we just want to let you know that the Digital Jamaica live stream show is sponsored by G5 Cybersecurity, protecting businesses and families. Visit www.g5cybersecurity.com to assess your company's network for security vulnerabilities. Guys, data protection is one of the things that a lot of companies are investing heavily in because
Yes.
it's no joke. Okay, so check them out to see if you are, inadvertently leaving your systems open to any security vulnerabilities, and to see if you comply with the Jamaica Data Protection Act. Okay, so that's www.g5cybersecurity.com, and we'll be right back with the word of the day. All right, Mo, it's over to you.
Thank you, Kay. As with many words that have emerged over time, our word of the day today is creator economy. Because it's a part of that internet lexicon, sometimes it can be very hard to define. And really, depending on who you ask, the meaning may change a bit. But what is understood by everybody who you ask is that what's being referred to when you talk about the creator economy is a system or a business model that allows a creator to earn money from their digital brand. And that's what we really want to talk about today. But there's so many ways that a creator can earn from their popularity or leverage their online community. One of the best known ways is to provide advertisers with alternative means to market, share, promote their products or services, and also to that will allow them to actually earn ad revenue or even get direct sponsorship. Also, this kind of morphs when you talk about different industries, because if the creator is an artist or a musician, for example, they can actually start earning from the selling of the creative output itself. So it may not need a third party or somebody else to come into the mix. Another thing that has been really popular, even with local creators, is to start creating merchandise or merch. So if they have a dedicated enough community or a large enough community, they can start earning money selling merchandise because they have persons who are invested in their brand and want to support what it is that what they're doing, as well as to identify as a member or a part of that particular community. You're showing loyalty, you're showing respect, and you're giving a nod to say, I believe in you, yeah, star, to that particular creator. So the creator economy has an estimated value of over 100 billion US dollars, according to Neo Reach Influencer Marketing Agency. And that's why we talking about this today, because we want to see how, as best as possible, if there's one thing we know about Jamaicans, win a shot at talent at all. Yeah. And so how do we step into this space, not just to be creating, but to be creating something that we can earn from as well. All right, so we have our tech trivia question of the day. And since we're on the topic of creatives, the creative economy, the creator economy, influencership, we're asking, which of the following categories had the highest concentration of influencers in 2020? There's so many different spaces, but which of these had the most creators, most influencers in 2020? Is it beauty? Is it lifestyle, food, or travel? So, is it beauty, lifestyle, food, or travel? All right. So, we want to hear from you. We've been hearing from a whole host of persons in the chat. Kenil Lewis, big up yourself. We also have Nicholas Nick shouting in from LinkedIn. So, thank you guys for keeping on track. Please share your answers in the chat so that we can big you up on the stream later on in the show. Yeah? All right. So we're going
All
straight
right.
into our tech news segment.
Yes, Monique. So you're
Mhm.
saying that the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information
Yes.
is doing what now with digital skills?
Okay. So I also
Morning,
have
Jacqueline.
okay. So saw this big announcement and I got so excited. Yeah, headline JIS. Over 150,000 Jamaicans to benefit over 5-year arrangement in a digital skills program, and
Yeah.
Minister Williams favor picture big and bright and everything, and you're like, all right, what is this, right?
Boy, the last time Minister Favor Williams says,
All right.
continue.
Okay. All right. So the goal is to train 150,000 Jamaicans in digital skills.
Mhm.
They have the MOEYI has partnered with Microsoft to roll out this program,
There
right?
was another Microsoft program back then too.
All right. Okay. So you're
I
getting
see
there.
where this is going.
You're getting where I am at. Okay. So the goal is at minimum to train at least 30,000. They said 31,000. So I said 30 plus
Mhm.
thousand persons each year up to 2026 with skills to for them to participate in a digital future. And that part is a quote:
All right.
participate in a digital future.
What
And the
are
reason
the skill training? What are the
that's
skills?
a very good question, Kadia. Your
Yeah.
guess is as good
Yeah.
as mine. Your guess
Okay.
is as good as mine. All right. So you got to the problem. Okay. They mentioned over 62 trainers will be equipped to facilitate one of four programs they're funding. But guess what? They don't tell us what the programs are. They don't tell us what the digital skills that they're improving are. And so while we know and while we're rinsing the same thing in terms of digital skills are fundamental for us to step into the digital future and to 2021 and beyond. And, it's great to have you, Kedia, you and I will be the first persons in
Monique, you're cracking up.
line
You're cracking up.
to talk about
Okay, guys. Monique is cracking up a little bit there, guys, and I think now she's frozen. So basically, what we're saying is we're welcoming this program. Monique is gonna refresh and come back. We're welcoming this program because, of course, we are very big proponents of digital skills training, right? It's kind of what we do over at Digital Disruption Agency, but we'd like more disclosure as to what the digital skills program are, because the last time Minister Williams came out and said they were doing something towards digital skills training, it was really Microsoft words. Well, Microsoft Office, and our complaint is Microsoft Office is not future digital skills. So I'm hoping they're not coming to train us on how to use Microsoft Office. So I'm hoping it's actual critical digital skills that we'll be learning how, that they'll be teaching, that actually makes sense and that can actually advance us into the future. So there's that. But then moving on. So according to the Atlantic Council, now the Atlantic Council is a group that tracks uh, tech advances. Um, and they say that there are over 81 countries currently exploring CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Yeah, over 81 countries. 14 of those countries, Monique, I think Monique is back and good to go. Monique will come back.
yes, yes, yes,
14
yes.
countries, including South Korea and Sweden, are actually in the testing phase. So they've moved beyond talking about it and they're now testing. They're doing testing. Of that, what? 95 countries? Five have already rolled out central bank digital currencies, and they're all Caribbean countries, right? So Bahamas, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Lucia and Grenada have all rolled out their CBDCs, and they're all, we've heard nothing else about it in terms of whether it's good or bad or whatever, but we know that it's been rolled out and it's actually a thing. It's running alongside what we call their fiat currency, or their currency. So you either the US dollar or whatever their particular currency is. right? So this for me is, as far as I know, is the first time the Caribbean is eating anything where it's technologically related. So this is actually great.
Yeah.
Now, what that means is that the Caribbean area is being credited for being the first location region in the world with the most
Wow.
CBDCs, and to be the first set of states, nations in that one region to roll out digital currencies. And that's an amazing thing. And
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I was saying the same thing, that while we are very slow to adapt to technology, COVID was a big boost, and since then we've been very open. And one of the advantages more to being observers of tech and users of tech is that we have been able to adapt tech in ways that were not actually meant for it to be used, but we've had to adapt it in that way so it makes
So
sense for
that it
us.
fits.
And in that way, we're innovative. That has made us very innovative. Um, that has made us innovative in many ways, and
Yes.
that has left us open to new ideas and to adapting new ideas quicker, because we're not tech jaded. We're not yet jaded by tech. You know what I
It's
mean?
in addition to that, understanding the fact that we have serious issues in terms of getting paid and sending money across not just across borders, but just to people generally in their own island, has facilitated the acceleration of this,
Yeah.
because we need it. We don't have the proper e-commerce infrastructure. We don't have a lot of these things that
Yeah.
internationally are standard, and as such, this is an opportunity for us to.
Funny you should talk about international standards, because the US, they're not having no conversation about digital currencies. None whatsoever. There's no conversation about a central bank digital currency. That's one. And I suspect one of the reasons why is because there are 50 states, and the 50 states, apart from federal laws, you have state laws, and the state kind of governs independently of the federal law, except where there's an overlap and it's more federal than it is state. So I think there's some technicalities that will be involved with that. And apart from that, the US they're like
Them
they're
not
like the
need it.
UK. Well, the pound is strong, the US dollar is strong. We don't need it. And then you have all this other technology operating coming out of the US.
Yes.
That will probably
Yes.
negate that as well. But
Yes.
notice they didn't mention Jamaica either.
Yeah.
Isn't Jamaica in the testing phase? But anyways,
You
we're
love,
gonna
you
go
love,
ahead and
you love trouble, you know. All when you're sick, all
I'm
when
just
you're sick, all when you're so,
I'm just saying that
all when you barely.
Jamaica could have been six, because Auntie Pat just said it, that all of those countries we named are Eastern Caribbean countries
Yeah,
under the Eastern
governed
Caribbean Central Bank.
governed by
So
a single
Jamaica could have been
central
the
bank.
CARICOM country waving the flag, but nah, we here acting a
Yeah.
fool. But anyway, moving on. NCB money
Yes. And you saw me make up my
announced
face.
last Friday at
Mm-hmm.
their investor briefing
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to be rolling out a new digital payment solution called Link. And Link
I like
is
the name.
Jamaica's answer to Venmo and Cash App. And what Link is going to enable us to do is to send and receive money, as well as make payments at merchants and other stores. Okay? So it's just like Cash App. I can send you a little money to your Cash App, or a Venmo to your Cash App. You can send me money, and it's an instant transaction, which means I'm supposed to get it instantly. And I can also buy stuff at participating merchant stores, etc., with Link. So what it is operating like a digital wallet, pretty much, right? So all payments through Link will be processed through NCB, of course. And the app, they say, is currently in test mode. So they're currently testing it out. And NCB is touting this as a part of their digital initiative. And so far, they say they've spent over $9 billion, or $9 billion, I think they said, in rolling out different types of, and I don't want to misquote them. Was it $9 billion? I'm gonna get the exact figure because I don't want to misquote them. So basically, the NCB saying that they have been, so far for 9 months, they have spent $9.64 billion into computers and $3.3 billion into overall rollout of different digital products. So ton of money they said
Mm-hmm.
spending on that. And so, we welcome this. For sure, we definitely welcome this. Hoping that this could be used as part of an e-commerce rollout. In the article, I know it said something about e-commerce, but it wasn't clear as to whether or not this was going to form a part of their e-commerce solution. But
Right.
we're
Or
happy.
if it was, going to support or replace Quisk, which is
Well,
also
apart,
an
the mention in
NCB
the
initiative.
article, and what the article is saying is that they can't tell the difference between Link and Quisk. But and NCB didn't really give any more details about what is going to happen to Quisk and if this is a part of the Quisk thing, because this is going to be available on mobile app. This is going to be a mobile application, so we don't
Yeah.
know. As I said, the app is currently in test mode, so I guess we'll hear more about it over the time. I'm excited. I'm happy about these kinds of things. These kinds of things are old tech. Venmo and Cash App have been around for how long now?
Years.
So
Yeah.
this is old tech, but we're happy that we're actually giving customers alternative that move us further along.
Yeah.
In
Even
terms
if
of,
it's not the most perfect, even if it's not the most perfect solution, we're inching closer, coming closer. My initial question when just gleaning the information was, all right, so if we're going to go through the bank and it's really the bank processing it, how is this different than me doing a transfer? But then I saw the way in terms of facilitating payments like at
yeah,
merchants and
yeah.
stuff. So
I mean,
I can get with that. Let's see what the rollout
yeah,
looks like.
yeah.
Yeah, let's
I
see how what
mean,
the rollout looks like.
you said something interesting a while ago. How is it different from a transfer? A transfer, I guess, it's the instantaneity of it and what else you can do, because again, there's not much information wasn't given, because with Venmo and Cash App, there's a ton of things you can actually do with Venmo and Cash App.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a card. Cash App has its own cash card that you can get. You can add your debit cards to Cash App. You can add your credit cards to Cash App. All these things we don't know about fees either, because
Right,
with
and
Cash
how
App,
it's going to be rolled out. Be-
depending on if you're adding your credit card or not, there are fees that are attached to Cash App. It is free to download and to transfer money. So basic features are free, but then when you get to the more sophisticated features, there's up to a 3% fee attached to a Cash App transaction. So we don't know if NCB is going to charge a fee to do anything. We just don't have a lot of information about it, but I'm still excited, is what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So quickly moving along, CCJ money, the Caribbean Court of Justice. Guys, I kept so hard for CCJ in law school. I'm a huge fan of the Caribbean Court of Justice. I think personally we should accede to the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final court into
Court
the
of
Privy
Appeal.
Council. But I digress. This is not that kind of show. But we are in terms of the original jurisdiction. So we are a part of the CCJ. The CCJ is located in Trinidad and Tobago, and according to the president of the CCJ, Justice Saunders, uh,
Mm-hmm.
they have received a donation from the Canadian funded Jurist Project, and he says the equipment will help them to have an entirely virtual courtroom. Now, remember, the CCJ gets cases, hears cases right across CARICOM. Okay, so that's multiple jurisdiction,
Yeah,
diverse jurisdiction. So they have to have a way to facilitate all of these hearings, right? So it says it will cater for full remote work capabilities for the staff and to enhance the mechanisms and procedures regarding the security of the court's data. Now, I can't tell you how happy I am to hear Justice Saunders talk about data protection. I can't tell you how happy I am to even talk about that. So it's a great thing. The Caribbean adjudicators and something their abbreviation is CAHO or CAJO, whatever. They're also getting equipment. So we're just happy that these things can continue because again in the original jurisdiction, meaning that the court hears a lot of matters about trade, inter-island trade amongst Caribbean countries, etc. And these things can actually hold up business. So it's good
Yes.
that these processes get to continue even while we're trying to get this pandemic under control. So, and you know what also struck me with this too is Canada always comes through for us in terms of the bilateral arrangements that we have with Canada. We've never really heard we have a really good relationship with Canada in terms of bilateral arrangements, in terms of funding for projects, in terms of economic advancements. Canada seemed to really come through for Jamaica, and we seem to really have a good relationship with Canada. So big up Canada, the Canadian government, and this
Yeah.
particular project, and of course big up the Caribbean Court of Justice. I still cape for them very hard. Okay, guys, before we go into our technically speaking segment, I see Jhunelle in the building. I see Lisa-Gaye in the building. Big up on yourself. We're gonna get to them soon. We're waiting on Ashley to jump on. And while I am doing the updates, Monique is gonna check up on Ashley to make sure that she is good and ready to go. So guys,
Sure.
we have several things happening on Digital Jamaica that we want you guys to know about and to support, right? So we have the monetization bootcamp, which is coming up August 13th to 15th. It's 3 whole days, 6 sessions with 6 trainers who are going to teach you how to make money online, pretty much. You don't have to be an influencer. It's not necessarily an influencer bootcamp, but it's for persons who are building their personal brand and want to find out how to turn all that effort into money, to be honest with you. Now, all 6 trainers have in their own way made money from their personal brand. Okay. 3 of the ladies that will be joining us for the technically speaking segment: Ashley Dennis, aka Ashley Carla, Lisa-Gaye Shakespeare from the Shakespeare Agency, and Jhunelle Jureidini, aka Simply Local Life. They are all going to be trainers on there. Okay. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. We're also going to be having YouTuber Shanika Smith, who took her membership from 71 subscribers to over 30,000 subscribers in literally 2 months. She's going to tell us how she did that through niching and finding the right audience and giving them the content that they want. Lisa, who is very good at setting, negotiating fees and setting rates and stuff, she's going to teach you how to do that. Ashley, who's really good at branding and building campaigns, she's going to teach you how to do that. Jhunelle, who's a big blogger, she's going to teach you how she went into professional blogging full time. If you go to the website, Digital Disruption Agency /monetization dash bootcamp, you'll see all the information there, including breakdown of all the sessions. Now, we wanted to make it affordable to everybody. So you can either get the bundle, which is the full 3 days, okay, and or you can pay for individual sessions, which is just $2,500 for an individual 3-hour session with one of these ladies. So you can pick which sessions you want to tune into, pay for that sessions, you'll get the replay, you'll get all the materials, all of that once you pay for the session or you pay for the individual for the bundle or the individual session. All right, so guys, we are also going to be launching a subscription-based service because a lot of you guys ask us sometimes, okay, we need some. I used to do a tutorial on my page called Content on a Budget. You guys have been asking about it. We've decided that we're going to turn those into live tutorials. That's a part of the subscription service. You guys ask us all the time about our graphics and who do the graphics. I do the graphics, okay? And you guys want tutorials on how I do the graphics. we're going to be doing those through the subscription service as well. You're going to get free graphic templates each month with the subscription service, free live tutorials and webinars through the subscription service. And there's just a lot more stuff that we're packing into that one subscription service. So you'll hear more about that over the following weeks as we, build that out and finalize. It's going to be great. If you have not already, guys, please to go and listen to the Digital Jamaica podcast. Our last episode was with Jonathan Sinclair, and we talked about shifts in digital culture from London to Jamaica and what the different spaces look like, what we're talking about in the different spaces, what's happening. And this conversation happened last year, June. I think it was last year, June, this conversation happened and had a big crash, lost all my files. Long story short, this was from what we're calling the lost files. These are interviews that we did that we lost the files for, but we were able to recover after almost a year. So we're putting those out. But what's funny about, or interesting, I should say, about this episode is how spot on Jonathan was. There's a lot of things that he talked about last year that is becoming relevant now or making sense now. He talked about data security and coding and all that, and all that is literally things that we are now focusing on this year. So very good we call it eyesight or eyes for what's happening in tech from Jonathan. So it's a very refreshing and interesting, very short conversation. So go and check that out. Our next podcast is going to be with Dr. Carleen Campbell. Now, she's a very interesting lady. She does one of her interesting things at one very interesting college in a very interesting European country, and she's the head of that department. First ever Black woman, first ever woman, period. All right. And if you hear how this lady actually started her career in tech and the age she started her career in tech and how far she's reached, you're going to be surprised. So that comes out next week. All right. So look out for that. And the last announcement is Wednesday, which is tomorrow. We did an interview with the one and only Julie Mango, aka Juliet Bodley, okay, and that drops on our blog tomorrow. She's as hilarious as you think she is, but she is very how she went into comedy and why she's doing comedy is very hilarious. And even with the massive amount of following she has across all our platforms, she has not monetized. She's not intending to monetize. This is something that she does because she enjoys doing it, and you're going to hear a lot more about her. Watch out for our interview that drops on our platforms tomorrow. And guys, without further ado, in fact, you know what? Coming up, we're going to do this the proper way, Monique. The proper way. Coming up on the Digital Jamaica live stream show is Ashley and Dennis, aka Ashley Carla. We have also Jhunelle Jureidini and Lisa-Gaye Shakespeare, and they're going to talk to us about how small brands make money online. Guys, we will be right back. All right, so let's welcome them on. Hey, ladies.
Hi,
Hello,
guys.
good morning. Hi.
Hello.
Guys, I promise you, this was not intentional to have an all-lady workshop. It was not intentional. But when
It's okay. Women rock. That's all good.
There you go.
Doing
But
great
we're
things.
looking at who is doing the actual things in the creator space.
Space.
The creator economy earlier. When we look in Jamaica and look at who are the ones doing the things consistently, it has been the women. Okay.
Mhm.
So last year, back in May, Naval Ravikant. No, you may have never heard that name before, but I'm going to tell you who he is. He made a statement on Twitter and he said, the next stage of the web is a decentralized creator economy. And people are like, what? What is this? What does this mean? Who is this guy? So this guy is the creator of Angels List. Now, Angels List is one, it's literally, if you guys have ever heard of Angie's List, Angels list is like, and is the Angie's list of angel investors, right? And he himself is a very successful angel investor with investments in Uber and Twitter, and he has been able to make a lot of money doing these things. And so people listen to him. So what he meant by decentralized creator economy is that creators like Ashley, like Lisa, like Jhunelle, through the power of their community and their own brand, are able to make money on their own terms, in their own way, through their own creative outputs. So that is what we mean by decentralized creator economy. And it's funny because it's true, here they are, right? And we've seen where the next big things in terms of people and technologies have emerged to create the creator economy. So we have social media platforms and the evolution of social media platforms. And then from social media platforms, there are a ton of other platforms that have evolved to support social media platforms and to support creators, etc., etc. So it is a very evolved ecosystem that has been born out of literally, in the most basic form, personal branding and monetizing your personal brand. So going right into it, ladies, because we're here to give people some tea. Okay,
Yes.
for those who don't know who you guys are, quickly introduce yourselves and tell us exactly what it is that you do in the creator space. Ashley, your name starts with A. Go first. I bet you used to
Makes
get
sense.
that a lot in school.
I'm dead.
Ashley, you can go first.
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Ashley and Denise. I'm known as Ashley Carla on Instagram and YouTube. I do lifestyle and travel content around the island. And that's my main focus. It's been my main focus for a year and some change. I actually started during COVID. And that's definitely what my focus is in terms of the workshop coming up. I definitely want to be talking to you guys about niching down and building successful campaigns, because I feel like I have a background in social media marketing and content creating, and I think a lot of us might have some problems with reaching out to brands sometimes, and it's not as daunting as it may seem. So it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about.
Okay, awesome. Jhunelle.
Yes, J comes after A in the sequence, I guess. Hello. Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Jhunelle Jureidini from simplylocal.life. That's a travel blog, mostly centered in and around Jamaican culture, lifestyle, things to do, places to go. In the last few months, it has expanded beyond the shores of Jamaica, but right now it is mainly focused on Jamaica, and I hope it will continue to go further. But yeah, that's me. And I've been doing this for 4 years now. So yeah.
Awesome. Lisa.
Yes. Hello, guys. My name is Lisa-Gaye Shakespeare, and as Kadia loves to call me, Lisa-Gaye. I'm a travel influencer, and I have my own company called Shakespeare Agency, where I partner with travel and tourism brands. I share travel experiences across the Caribbean. Mostly, you will see other countries because I love traveling on my page, but it's mostly the Caribbean that I'm focusing on. And I also plan vacations for people who are just too busy to plan their own vacations and just want to show up and have a good time.
Okay, awesome. And guys, Monique asked the question. Monique, what was the question you asked them about first job?
Oh, so I wanted to know if you guys remember what was your first paid job, and what did you do? And I'm gonna add a little extra part here, the whipped cream and the cherry on top.
How much money
Did you get paid? if it is, but we want to know your first paid job.
Start with Ashley again.
No, man, we're going the reverse. Coming from somebody who name start with M. Yeah, can you know?
All right.
Yeah.
So my first job was actually here in the US, not in Jamaica, because I left Jamaica when I was 16 and mommy never met me work. So I worked when I came here, and that was in college. And I worked at the post office, just putting letters into the students' mailbox. And that was it. I was on my feet for almost all the shift, and I got paid $6 an hour.
Oh wow. Jhunelle,
Wow.
what was your first paid job?
My first official paid job, because I had a little hustle. I made CDs for people. You know, back when LimeWire and Kaza was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was, that was
You're
my
giving away
first
your age,
hustle.
Jhunelle, but yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Listen.
So it goes sometimes. But yeah, my first official paid job, I was a office clerk at an electronic business. So, you know, sorting files and doing invoices, those kind of things. It was mainly to pay for Independence weekend parties. That's how I started working. I wanted to go.
Jesus
But
Christ.
yeah, I honestly don't remember what the
Priorities.
pay was. I really don't.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I take the LimeWire CD burning as the first job though.
Ashley, you ready? You
Yeah.
ready to jump back on, Ashley?
Yeah, did we
Yeah.
lose Ashley?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
There
Ashley,
we
what
go.
was your first job and how much was it?
First of all, I don't even remember how much it was, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it was at an insurance company, a permanent insurance company. I think I was doing like some filing related stuff.
Yeah, so all of us, yeah.
Everybody,
So all of us,
everybody turned secretary.
Yes.
But there was, you know, the common thread was, you know, there was a reason why all of us started, you know, look a job here and there, whether it was a summer job or whatever, it's because you wanted to make money.
Mhm.
And that's the point of this entire thing. I think somebody's fan is making a funny sound in the
Yeah,
background.
or it sounds like
I hear it.
Yeah,
I hear it. There's some feedback.
yeah.
Okay, seems to be gone now.
Seems to be gone now, yeah. So the point of all of this, guys, is to make money. If you're going to invest a lot of time into creating content and putting content out there, it must be for some economic reason, because it's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's not easy to do. So, guys, let's go right into it now. So there's a difference. There are categories of brands, and I'm trying very hard not to use the word influencer. Actually, I think the sound is coming from you, you know.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
Ashley,
it's
I am
actually.
wondering because I just
Is that fan you have on?
I turned it completely down, so I'm not sure.
It's probably, if you have earphones, that probably
Yeah, if you
helps.
can
It
put
might
in
be
headphones.
feedback
Yeah.
if you put in earphones or earbuds.
Okay. So, guys, we know that there are categories of brands. So you have nano, you have micro, you have small, whatever. Lisa, on our
Love it.
our monetization
Webinar.
webinar, you gave a really succinct definition of what all these categories are. You explain them really well. Can you go again for us and explain to us the difference between what we mean by nano, micro, and small?
Yeah. Well, so for me, you kind of confused me a little bit with when you threw in the small, because the small is kind of like, I mean,
Well, it was my way of, because it's so it's confusing in that you have the nano, which is between a number and a number,
Yeah.
micro between a number and a number, but then you have this odd number there before you reach to like mega and gazillion. You know what I mean?
like a
So that's kind of what I was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, what?
So like the three first ones before you get to the 500,000.
Yeah.
Over a million. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, what it really and truly what this kind of boils down to is it's all about the numbers, which I don't really like paying attention to numbers per se. But basically what social media determines as nano influencers are those people who have less than 10,000 followers. And I think those people are like the hottest on the market right now because
we're gonna talk about that.
Oh, okay. All right. So don't go into okay.
Don't go into that yet. Just give us the numbers.
Okay. And then the micro influencers are those who are between like 10,000 to around 50,000 followers, and that's where I fall into the bracket. Then you have what's called like mid-tier followers who are 100,000 and up to maybe like a 500,000. Then you have your mega
Mecca.
Yeah.
mega influencers, and those people are like, your celebrities basically.
Million.
Millions and the TikTok people and all these who have like millions of followers.
Right.
Yeah.
So I will say that because we do understand that there are we don't we talk about, oh, we don't like numbers, but numbers are important as part of a bigger data point, if you understand what I mean. So we're not just looking at numbers, but we're also looking at the quality of your community engagements and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But the
I like
first
numbers.
most visible thing is the numbers.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's be fair, that's the first most visible thing, right?
Right.
And depending on the number of followers you have as a brand, that can determine other things for you too. But Lisa-Gaye said it just now. She said that nano influencers and micro influencers tend to be
Is
carrying
where
the
it's at.
stake these days because of the versatility of what they can do and the spaces that they can get into,
Occupy.
right, that they can occupy, and the engagement.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
engagement.
Because science, really, because the more followers you have is the less likely you are to be able to engage with all of them, so the engagement is going to drop off,
The
right?
engagement rate.
The engagement rate is going to fall off.
With the brand is not as the trust factor just drops because brands just
Because
now
not
are
many people.
that you're gonna just be doing it just because. But if you have a targeted audience, a niched audience, then brands favor that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now you have the ears and the eyes of very particular groups of people, and I may be wanting to get through to that particular group of people.
And the
Okay.
trust.
And there you go. So, guys, how do you become visible to brands online? This is important. Yesterday, I came across a YouTube video. I don't know if you guys know
Channel.
no, not channel. I a video on YouTube. And he was talking about this girl named Grace Wells, and I tweeted about it yesterday, and it was a video from Now This. You guys know Now This News?
Yes.
Okay, so Now This News was talking about a girl by the name of Grace Wells. Grace Wells wants to make commercials, okay? And she was just starting out. She was fresh out. In fact, she was still in college. And she's like, okay, how do I become visible to the people who I want to work with? So she started making fake commercials using just random objects in and around her home. And she posted those fake commercials to TikTok. Well, today my girl is working with Olay, and I mean some big US brands because they noticed her on TikTok and her commercials. So that's one way. If you are a new brand or a small brand who wants to become visible, one way is to use social media as a portfolio, to create content that showcases the work that you can do or your talent in a particular way, post it to your social media platforms. But then the thing with Grace is she was very particular about the kind of commercial she wants to make. So she made very particular kind of work for a portfolio. So I know that Lisa-Gaye, you're very much, in fact, all of you guys are travel. Ashley is back. I know all you guys are travel related, which again, guys, was a coincidence. But even though all you guys are travel, you're very different
different.
segments of the travel market, which is interesting in and of itself. So, Jhunelle, let's start with you. Let's talk about something is going on with Ashley. Let's talk about your particular brand of travel content. You're very much localized.
Very much localized.
Tell us about that.
Okay. It started with rivers because that's my go-to place, and then it expanded to other places to swim. It expanded to places to stay, restaurants, etc., till it expanded beyond Jamaica. But for the most part, I would say my niche should be affordable travel in Jamaica. By affordable, I mean free to, you can go once every 6 months. There's a range, but
Yeah.
For a
So
weekend trip, that's
use
good.
a dryland tourists.
Dryland
Travel
tourist.
Yes, because I
Dryland
remember.
tourist.
So guys, Jhunelle was our people to watch back in 2019. And
So
Yes.
long
I
ago.
remember that was a conversation we had on the blog. Literally, Jhunelle was one of the only persons I knew at the time who
Yeah.
was literally paying attention to what was happening on the island. And what made Jhunelle different was that she was not working with big brands that we all know. You can depend on Jhunelle to come with somebody that you've never heard about before,
Some piece of
And then you wonder how
macabush.
you
that
never hear
you've
about
never
them
heard
before.
about before, and you're going, which part is that?
Uh-huh.
Right. So that is what made you different. So tell us about how did you seek them out? Did they seek you out? How did that get started?
Well, it's a little bit of both. To be honest, the first brands I worked with, the first three brands, they reached out to me. So at this point, blogging was still just a hobby, just me going out on the weekend, enjoying myself and sharing my experience. And I was surprised because brands started reaching out to me, say, hey, can you come to my place and showcase it on your website? I'm like, sure. Didn't even think to reach out to people. And this is when my audience, my whole audience, not just Instagram, not just Facebook, was less than 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 visitors. So I was very surprised. And that really gave me the push to start reaching out to people because I realized, okay, people are recognizing what I'm doing and
Yeah.
appreciating it. So, hey, why not?
Okay. Let's not underestimate the value of your community in that respect. Because
Definitely.
with less than 1K followers and people are hearing about this, it means that your community is really sharing your content. And this is why
Yes.
community is such, guys, when we're talking about how to get noticed, how to push your brand, how to become visible, you can't do none of that without your community. You
Yeah.
cannot
You
Yeah.
never know who is
cannot
watching.
do any of this without your community, because your community can exponentially expand the reach. Antipath is going to kill me more. Exponentially expand your reach way further than you could by yourself. So
Yeah.
definitely with your community. Lisa-Gaye, what about you? Monique, you
Yeah.
want to say something?
Yeah, I was just before you go, Lisa-Gaye, I was just saying, even in terms of Jhunelle saying that her audience was small at that point in time, but as a restaurateur, as a hotelier, like if 10 of that less than 1,000 people, if 100, if 5%, 10% of that same community patronized or learned about them for the first time and then supported in some way, shape, or form, whether it's sharing the video, whether it is attraction or excitement around this particular thing. This is a group of persons who every single one of them interested in what you're posting.
Yeah.
So there's a concentration of efforts, and I think that's one of the major points as we talk about micro and niche and nano and tiny brands, the kind of impact and weight that they pull because people care. And I'm
Yeah.
following you because I really care, not just because you're big.
Yeah, I like you as a person. I connect or relate to you in a particular way,
Your
and
style
that's a
and
value
what you're
that, yeah,
sharing.
yeah.
Exactly.
So Lisa, what about you? What made you go into, because Lisa, I'm gonna find one clip on YouTube.
Oh my God.
Was
Hey.
it NBC?
Hey.
Was
Stop.
it NBC? I never know. Say Lisa was big NBC reporter.
Hey.
Well, I can't believe you found that. That's so funny. So my background is in journalism. Like I moved to the US to go to school to study broadcast journalism because I wanted to be a reporter and be a news anchor and all these things. And lo and behold, once I was in the field of it, I realized I did not like it at all. Like I hated the hours. I hated being on the road. I hated being a one-man band and shooting, and I didn't like news. I never want to report pan traffic. I never want to talk about somebody down the road with teeth. Like, no, it was just not. Oh gosh. So that was short-lived. Mother nearly have a fit. But
Yeah, me that have a fit too after I pay for that college
Uh-huh.
4-year university education in the US of A. And a UE $300,000, a $50,000. Them a ask me for pay US dollar every
US
year
dollars.
for
Uh-huh.
4 years.
Okay. So you
yeah,
switched. So you
was
made
not
the
the first
switch.
time. So I
But
switched.
you see, money, the degree still
Yes.
came in handy, didn't it?
I was just
Tell
Exactly.
about
them,
to say that.
Lisa.
I was just about to say that. So I literally switched. Well, not at the time to travel though. I switched into working with international students because I was an international student when I first came here, and I just had a passion for it. And I was working in the university when I was in college, so I got a job in that field, and that propelled me into recruiting students internationally. So I started traveling with my department at the university I was working for to recruit students in Europe and in Latin America. And that's where my love for travel just kind of like developed. Like, hold on, I love
Took
this.
off.
Yeah. So I was with that company for 7 years, and towards the end, I really just wanted to transition into travel full time, but I didn't know how to do it. Then I saw somebody sent me a competition. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Cancun CEO, where Cancun in Mexico was looking for an ambassador to move to Cancun for like a year, all expenses paid, and they would pay them like $70,000, and you would go around Mexico and work for different hotels, blah blah blah, whatever. I applied. I made it all the way to, was the top 50, and then I didn't make it to top 10. But through that, I had to do a lot on social media. Like I had to do videos, I had to do posts, I had to do stories, I had to engage with the audience. Like I literally started building out my brand on that. And man, it just drummed up a whole I received so many followers from this because it was a big competition, and you had to get people to vote for you and all these things.
Oh, interesting.
That's when I started kind of really getting to have an audience per se. And then when I didn't make it to the next round, I was like, I really love this. So I created my YouTube channel, and I was just like, I'm gonna still just do travel
Do
because
it.
I like it. Yeah.
Mhm.
For the next,
Like, why not?
while I was still working with the company doing recruiting, I would take vacation and then do my own travel stuff. But vacation, you only have so much days, and it just started really getting to me. I'm like, man, I have to go back to work. I want to stay longer.
That's actually why I started traveling Jamaica, because I went abroad for the first time in I think 3 years at the time, and I came back after maybe a week, and I was like, I don't want to just do this like twice a year, 3 times a year. So I said, all right, people spend money to come Jamaica every year. Why me can't do that too for cheaper?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is actually how I started. I
And
didn't want to just limit myself.
And I just started filming my stuff for YouTube, documenting it on social media, just talking about my travels for fun and just giving people tips, advice. Oh, if you go here, make sure you visit these 3 places. And then how I worked in brands is actually someone reached out to me. It was a follower, and they were like, this company is looking for someone to go and stay there for a couple of days and to blog about it. And I'm like, oh sure, I'll go. And I just reached out to them. And yeah, but I reached out to them and I was like, I hear that you guys are looking for someone. I can do XYZ. Here's my YouTube channel, here's my socials. And then I worked with them. And from there, it just kind of slowly started developing. Back then, I wasn't monetizing, though. It was just me, hey, I'll just take a free stay and I'll just do this for you until eventually I started slowly moving into monetizing.
And I'm glad. Ashley, are you ready to jump back on? I think there may be an issue with Safari. If you can try Chrome.
Firefox or Chrome.
Or Firefox or Chrome browser should be fine. All right. Ashley? All right. So, Ashley, you're back. Hopefully for good this time. So, Ashley, we were talking about how you become visible to brands online, and Jhunelle and Lisa-Gaye shared with us how they got started online building their brands. So, what about you? How did you get started online building your brand?
Well, it all started in COVID, but I think after realizing that a lot of people were enjoying my content that I was putting out when I was,
enjoying the island during COVID, I kind of decided to kind of, niche down in that because I didn't before. It was never a focus for me.
Mhm.
And after niching down, it definitely, whenever, people might agree or not, but I think whenever you niche down at least to, a couple different, wait a second now, is genre right word,
Yeah.
of like what you do online, then it's easier for a brand to see how you can connect with them because
Yeah.
then, it would make sense. So I definitely think doing that was very helpful for me, and then because of that I also grew a community that were interested in those particular things, which was my lifestyle and travel, and then with that, even though you're a small creator, reaching out to brands yourself is always a plus to put yourself out there. And it's something that I've done. And in turn, the more work you do with brands, the more other brands will notice you and try to reach out as well. So I think that's really the road that I've gone for myself. And it's definitely one that will work. And we can talk about it more in the workshop.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For sure. And I'm glad you landed on that, and Lisa talked about, when she started monetizing, because the next thing I want to get into is, how do you know when to start monetizing your brand? So for Jhunelle, it's different because they reached out to you and they were like, "Girl," right? But if you could give the audience some advice as to how do you know when your brand is ready for monetization? What are some of the metrics you can look at,
Indicators.
or yeah, what are some of the indicators that will tell you that your brand is mature enough to start monetizing?
Starting with me?
When
Yeah,
people
any
start, okay.
Lisa,
All
what you
right.
say when people start what?
When people start telling you, oh my God, this is great information, I wouldn't have known this, or oh my God, I actually looked at your website, or I look at your social that I'm going here. When you literally start influencing people, that's when you know, because you have something that people are looking at that brands want. So if someone is watching your YouTube video and they're like, I'm going to go here because, man, this look good and you convinced me, then you have something. It's very simple.
That's fair. That's fair.
Very true.
So
um,
again, it's your audience. Your audience
Boils back
dictates
down to
when
your
you're ready
audience.
to monetize.
Mhm.
All
Absolutely.
right,
Janelle, Janelle, you were
uh,
saying something?
yeah, that's a hard question. Because what a lot of people have to realize, monetization requires a different level of commitment. So when you're monetizing, you're required to deliver. You're required to show metrics in terms of leads, conversions, impressions, those kind of things. You're required to communicate with brands so you're on the same page and you both know what you're getting into. I think you should monetize when it feels less like just a hobby and more like work. Not work like a chore, but you know, when you're actually trying to push
produce
something
something.
out
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
yeah,
something valuable. Because for me, it turned from hobby to work real quick. As much as I enjoy it, it's still work.
yeah.
And when you
Yeah.
realize, this takes a lot of time, this is taking a lot of money for me to produce at this point, then you can say, all right, I feel like I should get some returns from this.
Okay.
And
So, yeah.
For
absolutely,
sure.
people, a lot of times too, a lot of people think bloggers
Me?
don't do anything. Like you're just,
Yes.
oh, yeah, you're right. You know
Not
something
where he
that
is
money
right
takes.
now, but I'm
But
still
Monique,
on.
Monique.
Can you close?
oh,
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
no, I was just saying that she's absolutely right because it is work. It takes a lot of time and effort, and you should be getting paid for that time and effort that you're putting in. Because people sometimes just are under the impression that, oh, you just take pretty pictures and post it, or you just write
Yeah,
blogs and add pictures and that's it. Well,
not
it
true.
takes time to do that. So once you realize you're spending a lot of time on this, then yeah, you definitely should be monetizing.
For
Okay,
sure.
Ashley.
No, I agree. I definitely agree because it's definitely those two things. I think when you realize that people are genuinely interested in whatever it is that you're doing, and you're like, wait, but them people that make money off of me, and I don't
You're not getting
understand.
nothing.
I definitely think you can be like, okay, maybe I should reach out to this person because it could be something that you already use and your audience is definitely interested in it, and you're like, okay, maybe I should make some money from something that I already use and have influenced people to use, you know. I think that's when you really have to start thinking about it for sure.
Okay. Okay. So Lisa, you said you should start monetizing when?
Once you realize that you have influence on your audience, when
So
people
Lisa
are
says you can't monetize if you don't influence anybody to do nothing. That's one.
Oh, yeah.
Jhunelle said,
Reality
shots
check.
fired.
Reality
Jhunelle
check.
said, when you are investing a lot of time and effort into producing something of a particular
Quality.
value or quality,
Yeah.
that's when you
Correct.
should start getting some returns for your work. Because as I said earlier, producing content is not easy. Okay. And Ashley said, well, if I'm going to be talking about your stuff and people going to be buying it, then you need to pay me. Right? Okay. So
Give me my money.
yeah, and all of this again, and I guess it's similar to what Lisa said. You have to have some level of influence or sway over your community for them to be able for you to show a potential partner or brand partner that there is, and Jhunelle said earlier, that you have an ability to convert leads, to
Right.
generate leads and to convert those leads, right?
Mhm.
So all of these things, all of this come together, and so I'm saying you don't have to be an influencer. Some people don't like to call themselves an influencer because it's whatever the problem
Yeah.
people have with influencer. You don't have to call yourself an influencer if you don't want to call yourself an influencer. It's fine.
Yeah.
But if you are creating content and putting content out there and people are benefiting from your content in some way, then that's influence. And that
Yes.
influence can then be monetized. Earlier, money, when we were describing what we meant by the creator economy, we
Yeah.
said that it was your ability to leverage your digital brand to earn money. But what we really mean is leverage your community that has
Community.
been attracted by your brand, the community that your brand attracts. That is what you're actually leveraging, and that's where you can make money from. So moving along. So we
I
know,
think
guys.
before we go on, kids, I think a part of the reason even why that phrasing went that way is so that it becomes a kind of all-encompassing, including people, for example, who create content within companies, you know, who generate and develop this thing. So I think there's another way to kind of look at it. Lots of the time we only think in terms of traditional careers and now their introduction of some additional elements like influencer or whatever, but there's also a whole space called a content creator. Maybe it's not my brand or the brand of Monique, but I can create some really cool aesthetics, my product shots when I put stuff together. I have a creative eye and I like this sort of campaign or whatever. There is a space for you, even if that is your spiel, and you can get clients and people to pay you to create content that they want to share on their pages because they love it.
Sure.
Yeah. So yes, Kay.
So we know too that there are direct ways that you can
Yeah.
make money as a small brand, and there are indirect ways you can make money as a small brand. So let's talk about some direct ways first. And I'm going to start with Jhunelle because Jhunelle, you legit left your 9 to 5 and go, screw this. Simply local life committing. Yeah. So, and that
I
was
never turn back.
never turn back.
4 years
turn
ago.
back.
Yeah, right. And I think what you've engaged on first is a lot of very direct monetization strategies. So let's talk about how do you actually make money through Simply Local Life? What are some direct ways you have monetized your blog?
Okay. All right. First, let me do a little correction. I didn't leave the 9 to 5 in order.
Okay.
But I was already making occasional money from Simply Local Life at the time, and I left my job earlier than I expected to. And I said, well, let's see where this goes. And 2.5 years later, we're still seeing where this goes. So, hey. But my direct way of making money in long and short is writing and marketing.
Yeah.
So the most common way is brands, venues, businesses will ask me to come visit their place or come try their product. They will give me a complimentary service, stay, product, etc., plus money on top of that because I have to take pictures. Sometimes I have to do videos. I have to write. I have to do
We do
search
no
engine.
complimentary food in
Exactly.
exchange for nothing.
Yes.
Yes.
We have to do search engine optimization, which we'll talk about in the workshop for passive traffic so people can find what I write today, 5 years from now. That is my most common way. Other ways, directly, sometimes I will get from my blog, people will like my pictures. So instead of a blog article, they will ask me to come do a photography only job or a video only job because I also showcase those productions on simplylocal.live. So my most direct way is partnering with brands, and I also do freelance writing. So I will write for other websites and magazines, etc., and they will pay me to do so.
Like Travel Noir.
I didn't write for them. I was featured on it,
You're
but I didn't
featured
write
in
for
this.
them. Yes, but I've
Okay.
written for like Caribbean Elite magazine, Jamaica So Nice, Jamaica Tourist Board. I've written for quite a few.
Talk to her
Yeah.
nice.
Talk to me nice.
Right. So as a blogger, these are some of the ways, right, that you can make money. Do you do any affiliate marketing on the blog?
Yes, but that's more an indirect way. It's not my main thing, but yes, I do it, and I do make passive income from
Passive
that as
income
well.
from it.
Yes.
And guys, we're gonna tell you if you come to the workshop, you'll know what we're talking about. We're talking about passive income, okay?
Yeah.
We're not giving away
And
everything here
affiliate
for free.
links
So we say get paid for your content. So you have to come to the workshop to know what we're talking about. We're talking about passive income.
Yes,
Okay,
this is a sneak peek.
Yes. So Lisa, what are some direct ways that you have monetized your brand?
So for me, it's definitely my main thing is creating content for brands. And whether that's a hotel, a tour company, tourism board, that's the way that I do it through Instagram and my blog as well. I also do coaching. So before I niched down just to travel, I used to do social media marketing for small businesses. I no longer do that, but I have a program where it's going to be for travel influencers, and it's going to be coaching. So coaching is a good way. It's kind of like your holy grail in a sense. You're a consultant to consult on other people and offering advice and helping them with their business strategies, whether it's they're trying to go into blogging or being an influencer, or even if you're just trying to be a food photographer, whatever the strategies are like that. So there's coaching. And then there's also PDFs, downloadable PDFs, like how-tos. I find that, and that's going to be also part of passive income, but
that is passive income. That's indirect. Yeah.
Yes.
Money. So I have those for my travel itineraries that are coming soon that I'll be having on my website. So that's going to be one in there. And I also sell photos on like Shutterstock or like what is it? Getty, and anybody can do this, guys. Getty images.
Yeah.
Literally,
I've been thinking about that actually.
Photos. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Really good photos. Upload it, and then whenever it gets downloaded, you get a little, small change.
A little something.
So guys,
But
Lisa
better than
just
nothing.
gave you direct and indirect ways to earn money from your brand. But I didn't know that Shutterstock one is and let me tell you why that one is so cute too.
Right.
Because they're always looking for Black people because these stock images really
are so white.
Black people.
There's one specifically for us, y'all. It's called Nappy.
I know Nappy.
Nappy. Yeah,
I know that one. I know that one. So that's cool. That's cool. Actually,
and also Amazon.
Amazon web store?
Affiliate.
Amazon affiliate program.
Yes, that
How
would
does
be
that work?
affiliate and referrals.
Yeah. So you can have your own Amazon kind of storefront in a sense. Because if you buy, I buy products from Amazon all the time, and people are like, "Oh, where did you get this? Where did you get that?" And I send them to Amazon. But if you have, you can now have your own storefront where if you send someone to Amazon to get in, they purchase it, you get
You get a
You
percentage.
get
of that sale.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
guys,
that's what I meant by affiliates a little
Yeah.
earlier. That's one of the affiliates.
one and a few. So you find, guys, that YouTubers and content creators, what they do is in their description, you'll see where they say camera, and they will describe the camera, and they'll put the link to where you can go and get the camera. Chances are they're getting some kind of percentage, or this is some
On the
kind of
back end.
affiliate, right?
Yeah.
From that. So they will tell you all the equipment that they use, and then they'll give you the link where you can go and purchase it. And some of them will tell you that if you purchase, they're going to get some kind of affiliate monies from that. So guys, that's an indirect way to make money. And what persons don't understand sometimes is that it's not always about selling the brand, it's also selling the process of how you build the brand. So we're going to talk about that. Ashley, how about you?
Well, I'm just, you know how, like, when Megan win her bronze, she's like, I'm just happy to be here. That's me.
I love it.
You know, in my first year of doing this, I think I've done pretty well for myself, and most of my monetization has been through brand partnerships.
So
You know,
that's direct monetization.
direct
Brand.
monetization. The thing is, I did consider doing affiliate, especially with Airbnb at one point, because I was doing so much under that. But then they stopped the program, because COVID. But you know, that's definitely how I do my monetization right now, and with content creation for brands. So in a not necessarily where I'm posting on my page, but they're using me to post or to generate some traffic to their brand.
Yeah. Okay, so you're mostly, direct monetization.
Direct.
Yeah. So guys, when we talk about direct monetization, just to give you a little clearer idea of what we mean, when we say direct monetization, we're talking about using your actual brand to earn money. So, for instance, Ashley is a travel content creator. So a brand will come to her and say, "Hey, come to my hotel or wherever." Yeah. And Ashley will go, Ashley will create content, put content out on her platform, and she gets paid to do that. That's what she does. That's what her brand does. But if at any point Ashley go, "Okay, let's do some affiliate marketing. Let me now start talking about swimsuits." I don't know. I'm thinking here.
Yeah.
So if a swimsuit brand, because I have seen more of Ashley's titties than any other part of Ashley. Okay. Ashley is always in a swimsuit. Ashley and Lisa
We love to see it.
are always in swimsuit. Okay, so if
You see,
that
I mean,
swimsuit illustrated for just
exactly. If a swimsuit brand should come to either Ashley and Lisa and go, "Hey, ladies, you look fantastic in your bathing suits, okay? How about I sponsor you a bathing suit and you talk?" That's a direct brand. That's a direct brand sponsorship. But if Ashley said, "Listen, guys, this is where I get my swimsuit or whatever. If you click on this link and go buy the swimsuit, I get a percentage." That may be an indirect way that Ashley is also make money. Suppose Ashley wears a particular kind of makeup, and she said, "You go buy the makeup." She may be able to do some affiliate marketing to that. So affiliate marketing, guys, is one indirect way you can make money. Lisa talked about PDFs. Lisa, Ashley, or Jhunelle can create a 1-2 strategy. In 10 steps, you can become a professional blogger, or in 10 steps, you can become a travel content creator. This is how download my PDF. It may be behind a paywall where you have to pay for it, or it may be a free PDF in exchange for your email. Because as content creators, as influencers, brands, whatever, the biggest money is in your email.
Your email list. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Having an email list is actually where you can convert your leads to sales. And that is something that potential brand partners are going to be interested in. So they create these PDFs or what we call lead magnets to attract people to their brand, to get their email addresses. And that way they can start a more intimate dialogue with that group of people, and that's where the actual selling happens. You will not find any sale going on either one of these ladies' pages. You will not see them say 50% giveaway off. You will not see that. Okay.
I like to tell people too that, you know, we don't own social media. Instagram can disappear tomorrow. Facebook can crash tomorrow and never come.
As it has.
All these things, we don't own them, but your email list is yours, right?
And your website.
And your website. That's the ticket.
Download it, and you can funnel all of your stuff there without worry. So
sales funnels. Right. Yeah. So when I get very up in arms sometimes. I hear people talk about influencers. Like, it's a lot of work that goes into being an influencer. This is actually a business, but we're not going to get into that. So guys, these are some of the ways that you make money. Another way that I say successful brands make money, small brands, is by selling the process. And what do I mean by selling the process, Monique? I mean that if Monique and I come up with a way of making $5,000 on anything, we can then turn around and say, guys, buy our strategy to make $5,000 on this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we sell the process of becoming an influencer, sell the process of becoming this, sell the process. I literally sell you my strategy or my plan or my blueprint or whatever. You guys have to be careful of some of these though, because some of these people are scammers. But people actually sell their strategy and their process as well. So guys, there is endless amount of ways you can actually make money directly and indirectly as a small brand. And guys, so let's move on to the boot camp that is coming up now, because we want to give people an idea of some of the things that we'll actually be talking about at the boot camp. So Jhunelle, you're joining the boot camp and you're going to be talking to us about blogging. Is blogging still a thing in 2021?
It is definitely still a thing. And I actually had this conversation with a US partner that just came on board last week. They have an e-commerce site. Yeah, they have an e-commerce website and they want me to blog for them, because e-commerce sites, when you blog, that actually builds their search engine rankings.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the more you update and the more you change your sites, that helps with search engine optimization, again, which we will talk about in the workshop. But blogging for businesses, it gets people to your website. It gets eyes on your product. It shares information. It generates interest, and it gives you a lot of passive income.
A lot of passive income. And you know, Jhunelle talked about SEO and she talked about evergreen content.
Yes.
Creating content that 5 years from now is still going to be
people will still read and it still be relevant.
Yes. So there is an actual strategy to making a blog profitable. You have to increase the amount of visitors to your blog per month. You're going to talk about bounce rate and all these things. So you understand what these terms mean and what are because the analytics for a blog is going to be different from the analytics for, say, a podcast or your social media analytics. Jhunelle is also very good at directed traffic from social media to the blog, and you're going to be talking about that as well.
Yes, definitely. Right, and also another indirect way that we didn't mention is ads on your website or ads on the blog. So ads are really my blog currency. So when people come on my site to read a blog article and they see ads from Google or whatever that are automatically placed on the site, the impressions and the clicks gets me passive income as well. So yeah, there's definitely a lot in store. There you go.
All right. So if you guys are interested in hearing Jhunelle talk about blogging and how to make money as a blogger, direct and indirect ways to make money as a blogger, how to get traffic to your website, whether through social media or from search engines like Google, using white hat SEO strategies.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
you're gonna have to come to the workshop to hear about that. Over to you, Lisa. Lisa, what are you going to be talking about at the workshop?
So I'm going to be walking you guys through the fundamentals of a digital partnership. That's going to include, how to research them, how to target them, and just basically, how to court your ideal brand partner online. I'm going to talk about developing and calculating brand value, negotiating your rates based on your industry, relationship building, the fee structure, all of that.
All of that good stuff.
All of that good stuff.
So
Yeah.
so and I think Ashley was the one who said it, that as a small brand, there's actually nothing wrong with you reaching out to the people that you actually want to work with and say, hey, see me up. But before you can do that, you have to have something to show them, so it makes sense for them to want to work with your brand, and that's where the brand value comes in. So what Lisa-Gaye is going to be doing is she's going to be talking to you about how do you calculate the value of your brand. You might think, well, we just have 500 followers, but that's not where the value is, right? It's an amalgamation of things. So Lisa is going to talk to you about that. And now we say we don't do free food. No, there are in-kind payments that you can accept that is not necessarily cash, that would make sense for your brand. It's not free food and it's not free stays. We don't believe in that. Okay. And also Lisa is going to be talking about, once you know what your brand value is, how do you then calculate your rates? Because these two things are interrelated. So we're going to talk about that with Lisa. Ashley, and what are you going to be talking about at the workshop?
I will definitely be talking to you guys about niching down. I think the niching down part is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what that is, it's basically just deciding where you are in the content creation, or it could be a business or influencer side of things online. Just where you are online, what your brand will be saying, what's your brand voice, things like that. Deciding. And also, building out campaigns and successful campaigns, because there's one thing to be able to write one, but it's another thing to be able to write one that will actually be beneficial for both you and the brand.
Yeah.
If you should have the opportunity to work with some. So that's definitely what we're going to be talking about, and it should definitely be a good conversation, an interesting one.
For sure, for sure. Because Ashley, I know that you have actually built out an entire system in terms of how you develop your campaigns.
I have.
Yeah, very very meticulous systems. As I said, which is why I said, guys, creating content is not.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
And that's why niching is so important, because once you niche and you identify yourself within a particular space, and you build a community within that space, and you have influence over that community in that space, then you are more attractive to a brand who wants to reach the same audience you have some level of relationship with. And you act as kind of like a gatekeeper to that audience, and you literally can give them access to that audience, and that is what they're paying you for. One indirect way that we didn't mention, Monique, is merch.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Well, we kind of mentioned it and talked about it earlier when we were talking about the general kind of community, but especially with persons who have successfully built their community, it's a great way to engage people, to be able to own it for themselves too, and to for them to almost become your ambassadors. We do it for Tommy Hilfiger, we do it for Amber Cumbre, can't pronounce name, and Finch. And we do it for Aeropostale, why we can't do it for Ashley Carla, and why we can't do it for Bootleg Rockstar, and for Quiet Perry, both persons who launched their own merch lines for their communities as Jamaican creators.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And guys, we're not this is not guesswork. We know it's possible. It has been done. Small brands. Monique, what's the name of Monique, your friend who did the
Yes.
campaign with Clarks? What's her name?
Christia?
She and her
You're talking
mom.
about, yeah, you're talking
Christia.
about Christian.
Christia.
Planking.
Who she's a
Yeah.
small brand. She's a small
My repeat
influencer.
offender.
She's a small influencer, and she was able to cop a covetable brand partnership with Clarks. And this is during the same time Clarks was doing a brand partnership with Coffee
New
and
Wave.
and what's his face?
New they did it with New Wave as well.
New
And Natasha
Coffee
Leeds.
and what's his name? The other reggae.
Protege?
Yeah.
No. What's his name, man?
They released a Jamaican Chronics. There was Chronics, but it also kind of coincides with the whole entire campaign. It was a part of a whole campain since they were releasing a Jamaican line, of Clark.
Who is in
Raheem
UK,
Sterling, who is Jamaican. Jamaican, and he plays for England, and
yes.
So it was a slew of Jamaicans. But my thing is, look at the caliber of people they were working with. They were working with international artists, big football players, but there were also small influencers who are part of the campaign. And that's what we're saying. It's not a guess. We're not guessing. We're not telling you something where, highfalutin. We're telling you things that is possible. And we're showing you people who have done it, who can do it, and who is doing it for a living and making a very good living too. Mind you, doing it. And I see Pink Peach in the chat. Shout out to Pink Peach, because if I want to know where to go eat, I'm going to what's new on the menu. Straight. Literally, if I want to know where to go and eat some food, I'm going to go to what's new on the menu. So I can find out where to eat and what to eat and all the food tastes. And she's very honest. I thought the review that she gave about the Jamaican cup soup brand was hilarious, but quite on brand. So guys, that's what you can expect as a participant in the workshop. But guys, I know you guys have things coming up. Lisa, let's start with you. You did a whole rebranding recently, right? And Lisa is going to be doing what Ashley is going to teach you how to do, which is niching down. So Lisa, you've rebranded and relaunched your new niche brand. Tell us about that.
Yes. So excited. So I have niched down to focus solely on travel. Because I was doing it all before, Lord, and it was just not it. But I did what I had to do during COVID. Anyway, I mean, we're still in COVID, but So I niche down and I offer services for brands who need help creating compelling content and visuals that convert sales and bookings. So locking in those partnership deals, which is what I'll be talking about in the boot camp. And then I'm also offering services for travelers. So these are for people who want to visit the Caribbean, but don't have time to plan their vacation. They're just don't want to deal with it. I can facilitate that. All you have to do is just show up and have a good time. And also a coaching program for aspiring or, struggling travel influencers who just need guidance on how to
adapt. That's so funny too.
Kenya.
Yes, Kenya.
Kenya. You are wicked.
But yeah, so I just coach on how to do brand strategy, partnership, collaboration, content, pitching, media kits, all of that, negotiating fees. Yeah.
Media kits, guys. That is so important. One of you guys are going to be talking about media kits too. I think, is it you, Lisa? As a part of your
I think workshop? It was Lisa.
I think it's Lisa, because that is a part of the brand value, because when you're sending your media kits out to persons, there are certain things that you have to be talking about in there, so it makes sense to them as well. All right.
Oh, so sorry, kids. I think that ultimately, what we're communicating or what we're saying is that there are just these multiple aspects or facets that are a part of aligning yourself or putting yourself in the best position
Yeah.
in order to command the prices that you want, and in order to earn a sustainable, because
Sustainable is the word.
there's one thing about getting a one bus. Jhunelle talked about three different people reaching out or whatever, and especially in the beginning, because I know I was there, girl. I was there with you.
You
Yeah.
were there.
Right? But she had to figure out, how do I make this sustainable? How do I in the off season, when villas and stuff kind of slow down a bit, when these things happen, how do I continue to eat? Because it's not like my body goes on hibernation in your slow period, right? So we're trying to carry persons who may understand, who may already have a brand, even those who are just starting, to put the necessary steps together in order to actually build a business, to build a brand, but on top of that brand or intertwined or whatever, however you want to call it, you have that business structure so that you at least prepare yourself, and you aren't because another thing that we probably never even go into a lot of detail today is that you can have numbers and still not have a business. You can have you can be the biggest and influencing and still struggling to monetize. So yes, kid, you're struggling influencers.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So it's really important, and that's a part. Listen, Katie and I sat down and we were like, how can we best serve the community? How can we best serve people with things that in this time of COVID that people can use to actually earn?
Earn money.
And
Yeah.
I think this is an
Yeah.
amazing
This is for
opportunity for
content
people who
creators.
Yeah.
and for people who take it serious,
Yeah,
because
for content creators, because it's not
yeah,
easy.
it's not easy, and it's not for the
Nor
faint
quick.
of heart.
It's not for the
Nor
faint of,
quick.
It
and it
don't it
requires a
don't come
lot of
up.
work.
Not
Yes, and it
overnight
requires
either.
it's not overnight, and it requires a lot of consistency, because we
Yeah.
can always look at people in their third and fourth year. We can look at Jhunelle and say, yes, girl, you're gone foreign, and then take pretty picture and travel noir and which magazine, and we can do all that, and we can be excited. But who remembers the
Just freeze up.
the times when she couldn't do all of those things? I
Yeah.
think I chipped out.
Yeah, she should
Yes.
have it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So guys,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what this whole boot camp was about. It was about us looking at the fact that there are persons out there who are creating content. How can we help them make money from the content? And as well, we keep getting DMs from people going, okay, so this company reached out to me for me to do 5 million posts and 60 million
Yeah.
stories, but they want to give me complimentary burgers. Guys,
Yeah. Yeah.
listen,
No.
we've gotten those DMs and we're like, nah, we're not
Yeah.
doing that. It's
and
points,
and the,
points,
the
cash.
other part of it is that the market does not know, and so the onus or the burden is on the influencer or the
To
content
know.
creator to
Yeah.
know, and two, to have that structure, and three, to be able to communicate in a way to these organizations that makes sense to them and
Yeah.
makes sense within
And
their
their
marketing
community.
plan and structure
Yeah.
and their community, them
Because
bottom line,
you
them
can't go
making money,
off, because
etc.
actually community is used to actually doing travel influencing. if all of a sudden Ashley gone off to go do something else without any explanation or whatever,
Tech
we're
reviews,
going to be looking at her
gadget
like,
reviews.
girl,
You know,
Like,
What's
girl,
where this
happening?
come from?
I legit
Yeah.
came here to see cute beach pics.
yeah,
Hello? Right? So
to
you
cup you in
have
a
to make
bikini.
sure, you have to make sure that you're balancing brand partnerships and the what you're going to have to do to satisfy your client with what you're going to have to do to satisfy your community. Because
Audience.
without your community, you have no brand.
Yes.
No
Mhm.
brand.
You have
Okay?
no,
So
yeah.
there's a
I wanna
balancing
say
act that you have to. Who was saying something?
it was
Jhunelle.
me, but I thought you were done. Finish. It's okay.
Yeah, no, man. I'm just saying there's a balancing act that you have to be mindful of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
just pointing that you can, using the example of Ashley, Ashley can still do her beach pics and so, but if she's going to gadgets, there has to be some connection,
Something
some
to tie them
transition
together.
there
Mhm.
where your audience will still trust you versus saying, nah, man, them just pay for this. She just has say it for, to appease the brand, but I don't really trust her in this realm. There
Yeah.
has to be some connection, some
Mhm.
transition. That's
Yeah.
where the value is.
For example,
That-
if you had like a portable Wi-Fi
Yeah.
gadget thingy,
Yeah,
that can relate to travel because you travel
Yeah.
far away. You need
exactly.
Travel gadgets.
so it's a travel gadget.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Ease
exactly.
into
It
it.
has to make
Ease
sense.
into it.
Yeah. It has to make sense. But guys, this is another benefit we have as Jamaicans, in a relatively new market, because the influencer market in Jamaica is relatively new. It's really since COVID. A lot of
Mhm.
Jamaican businesses have turned to
Have
influencers to help
started.
them to
And
promote.
local influencers at that.
Local influencers at that cause.
The foreign
Mhm.
influencers couldn't
Anyways,
come in at a time.
through the foreign people,
Mhm.
them couldn't travel during COVID. And we couldn't get them free hotel stay. Anyways, so the good thing is that we're not yet jaded by the whole influencer marketing space, because on a more global level, you talk about influencer, people roll them eye because influencers in the States, they're doing some questionable stuff. Okay, people are looking at them funny, but there's still a trust there as it relates to localized influencers, because they have localized audiences. So if Ashley come and I tell me about somewhere, I can look at Ashley and go, girl, I've been there, it's rubbish. Boo, don't even try that. So Ashley
Exactly.
knows, so she can't come tell me no bullshit. She knows that.
This is true.
She knows. Jhunelle knows say she can't send me go that restaurant.
Yeah.
Because me blaze her if me go there the food rubbish. Right? So there's an awareness that they need to have about their audience,
Yeah.
because Jamaican
Yeah.
people is
Don't
not
play.
the set of people you want to
And
bullshit.
and we're
Mhm.
not very forgiving when we feel
Yeah.
like somebody
You
had
want
take
bullshit, Jamaican.
give we a
Uh-huh.
6 for a 9.
Yeah.
We don't take very kindly to that.
Yeah.
If you show me a picture and the beach look spotless, the horizon nice, and then when me go a bare rubbish and
And
bush,
that,
the
if
picture
you go at 10 o'clock in the morning, when remember said she take the picture at 6 o'clock in the sunset, and you go 10 o'clock, I expect to see sunset. That's literally how we are.
we're wicked.
They're not
We're
gonna
wicked.
Yeah.
recreate the condition. We want to go 10 o'clock and see no sunset picture.
Sunset, yes.
So
Yeah.
you have to come correct with Jamaican people. We're in a very peculiar market with a very peculiar set of people, and it is actually an advantage. It keeps people in the space honest, right?
Yes.
And it helps businesses, because now businesses have to literally step up them game
Yeah.
in order, because again, especially if you're in the travel space, because for a long time them never really pay local people no mind. Yeah, they never really pay no mind. You used to see the Becky and the Joshes them on the
Mhm.
beach, alcoholic. Yeah. And you go, but look at that, must be nice, right? Because it was never about you, right? And now COVID lit them on them clock. All of a sudden, them want the Keisha and the Pinky them. Yeah. Because down there, come fake ear blow in the breeze. Yes.
Mhm.
No.
I rest my case.
So, yes.
Audience.
So, local influencers giving us something of value there. So guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. Today we look forward to the workshop. It's gonna be great.
Yep.
Guys, as I said, you can get the bundle, which is 3 days, which means you're actually getting a full day for free. Or you can literally, if you only want to hear from Lisa, you can only come to Lisa's workshop. It's fine. So you can pick and mix the sessions. We are also going to be having a session with an attorney, because one thing we realize is that local creators are not creating contracts and are not covering themselves in terms of what they're asking for, what the client's expectations are, and that is not being documented in a contract, and it is causing problem. Last week we talked about the whole issue with Denique and the photographer. I'm sure all of this could have been fixed if there was a contract in place that's clearly stated what expectations were going to be, and a clause in the contract that states that you have the right to add the work to your portfolio, to submit that work in competitions, etc. There are important clauses that as influencers, as brands who are working with bigger brands, you must have in your contract. Please don't wait on them to send you a contract. Make sure you have your own contract that is customizable depending on the brand that you're working with clear terms and conditions and payments. And because sometimes months later, them still not paying your money. Where if in your contract it said 2 days post this money,
late fees,
but then you can't.
Yes.
Yeah, late fees, and then someday late fees. Late fees make people very prompt.
Pay. Yeah.
Okay.
Facts.
So these are some clauses that you guys need to have. Also, clauses about protecting your intellectual property, because some of you don't understand what happens when you put this content on social media. It's no longer your content. It's no Instagram's content. Or when you put the content on the brand's platform, who owns the content? If you're making the content and you give it to the brand, or the brand posts it on their platform, whether their website or whatever, who now owns the content? So we're talking about how do you protect your intellectual property, how you retain certain rights to that property, etc. So, guys, these are important things that you need to know, and we're going to be talking about in the workshop. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you. Can I touch on to your point really quickly, Katie?
Yes, Jhunelle.
What a practice that I've noticed very recently, especially with corporate brands that are hosting competitions to the giveaways, weekend for two, money, etc. They want to submit content like pictures, like videos. A lot of the time, once you post it, even if you don't win, from the end to the contest, whatever you give them is not yours. Them can put it in an ad and you don't get a cent, whether you win, lose, finalist, etc. So a lot of these contracts and terms you also have to read, especially if that's your moneymaker. If you're a photographer, videographer and stuff, you have to know when you enter in those things, your content can be used and you get no compensation.
And
so
that is also
these
true
are
for
important.
our tech creators.
Yes.
That's also true for our tech creators. Guys, I did not give Ashley and Jhunelle an opportunity to plug. What do you guys have coming up that you want our audience to know about?
Oh, actually, you go first since me just talk.
Since like they just feel like they're putting me on the spot. I like it. But I honestly, for the rest of the year, I'm just trying to buckle down in terms of like content wise. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to work through now to kind of get to a point of consistency afterwards. So that's really what I have coming up, just consistent content. Once I figure out some nitty-gritties, and both on Instagram and YouTube. So that's really it for me for the rest of the year, and just closing out a year to begin 2022, all shiny and new and nice and bare things.
Bare things.
Bare things.
And yes, Jhunelle?
For me, similar to Ashley, I want to be more consistent. I want to improve my content. I'm somebody who has my hands and my head all over the place. So I plan to do, like Lisa, a website rebrand, make things easier to find and more convenient and more tailored to the user experience at simplylocal.life. Other than that, I've been doing a lot more freelance work. So you'll see my work on other sites, other magazines. And I'm looking to do PDF like itinerary, ebooks and such, but brain process.
Yeah.
I'm looking to do a lot.
We're looking forward to having more books in the space about these things from local
Yes.
creators. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
important for us to start sharing the knowledge locally. I
Yes.
really look forward to a more academic approach
And I'm
to
also
the
doing more, sorry, international content at Simple Local at Life. I'm
yeah.
working with some overseas partners, so I'm hoping within the
You see
next
the
month
foreign
or two.
trips.
Yeah,
You see the
Yes.
yeah,
foreign trips, my God. Oh my
yeah.
God, I
So
fly
we're going to see some Simply
go.
International there as well.
What
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, yo, yeah.
That's
Evolve,
right. That's
darling.
right.
Evolve. I love it.
That's
Evolving.
right. Awesome stuff. And we're always excited to see Jamaican creators evolve out of the space because y'all cheap. I'm talking to y'all
Facts,
Jamaicans. Y'all
Yeah,
cheap
facts.
let's
and
talk
don't like
facts.
paying for
They
things.
are.
That is
So if it
true.
means that we're going to evolve out of the local market, then boo-hoo, because y'all don't like paying for nothing and ain't nobody got time because JPS. Thank you. So I'm always happy to see local creators go far and go make money. Thank you. Or go into foreign spaces and
Yeah.
earn. No, it's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah,
Our
it's
it
true.
is.
local
It is.
market,
It
That is
is.
very
Yeah.
very
true.
spoiled and them love freeness.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No lies
Anyways,
were told.
thank you, ladies, so much for being here. And we look forward to seeing you in workshop, guys, August 13th to 15th. Go to the website, sign up, and
And sign up.
get some knowledge.
Yes. More
Yeah.
than what was
Do
here
it
today.
right.
Way,
A
way,
lot
way,
more.
way,
Yeah.
way
A
more. And
lot more.
with Digital Jamaica and this DDA, we don't mince information. It don't make no sense. We just give it to you and you can make a decision based on the information that you have. So you can expect quality information. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye,
Bye,
ladies.
Bye.
Bye,
guys.
Bye
everyone. Thanks
bye.
for joining.
All right. So Mo, that was awesome.
Yes, it
That
was.
was awesome. And
And
I ain't taking back my
I'm
words
really
neither. Y'all cheap.
I'm really proud that we've been able to pull together this group because
Yeah.
as I mentioned earlier, Kay, it's something that's really important for the
Yeah.
community.
Sure.
And I really just hope that persons take advantage of it because I don't see anybody else offering this at this price
And it's not just
anytime.
the price point, it's the quality of the content too.
Of
Because
yeah,
Monique, I was gonna say you and I as if you weren't there. We literally sat and thought, okay, what are some of the things that we see happening and how can we fix it? And
yeah,
literally every topic that you see covered is based on either people DMing us and asking us or questions that we get from DMs or
gaps
general
that we
observations
see.
or gaps that we
Yeah,
see. And
gaps that
our
we
thing
see in
is,
terms of some amazing content creators, some amazing influencers who are either leaving money on the table or not put together enough. Guys, let's be honest. Let's be straight.
them
The
just a try a
world,
thing.
yeah, and
Because money
it's
is gonna
still
try to pretty it up. Them a try a thing and it not working.
and you wonder why it is that you're not earning or you're not able
Yeah.
to sustain this or whatever. You're working so hard that it can get so frustrating
Yeah.
because you are head cook and bottle washer, you are photographer and video editor and driver
Yeah.
and everything as well as sales expert. You are everything. So we know it can get frustrating, but sometimes having a system or even knowing what corporate is looking for can really help. And that's what we're trying to help you build out, an ecosystem that makes sense where you can actually go forth and earn, make some money. All
Awesome.
right.
So answer to our tech trivia question.
Yeah, cause
Mo.
we chat enough. We chat enough, and so we asked you guys which of the categories had the highest concentration of influencers in 2020? Was it beauty, lifestyle, food, or travel? And the answer is
Hold on, hold
travel.
on. Oh
Oh,
Lord.
sorry. Lifestyle, food, or travel? And the answer is all right. So actually the answer was lifestyle. Sorry. So
The answer
according
was
to
lifestyle or
Statista,
travel?
yes, lifestyle. So according to
Lifestyle, okay.
Statista, yes, according to Statista, lifestyle influencer has accounted for 11.59% of all Instagram influencers worldwide in 2020. The next category was music, which was 6.54%. Then photography, and I thought it was sort of Lexan art at 5.58%. Then beauty, which we know is a huge industry, at 5.22, with big names like Huda Beauty and lots of people, Jackie Aina, are stepping into that space. And then, interestingly, family came next at 4.34%. So a lot of times we may only think of certain main areas, like especially food comes to mind a lot, love comes to mind a lot, but there are these niche spaces that are huge internationally. And also you can also take a counterintuitive approach to say, okay, there's a whole flurry happening over lifestyle, I'm going to make my mark in X space. Yeah. So thanks for everyone who sent in their responses. Participated, we had someone, Jacqueline Cameron, who said pointedly earlier, it is a lifestyle. You were right, Jackie. So thanks to everyone who participated. Katie,
And that's it
thank
for the
you.
show today. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
We
had
had
a
a good
really
show.
good show.
I'm not feeling my 100% best, but you
Yes.
guys know how animated I get when I start talking about these things. These
Yeah.
things are, they give me energy. I like giving people information. I love giving people information. And guys, really and truly, I trouble you guys that, Jamaican people are cheap. If I could give any information for free, some money there, and she'll give me one stink side eye look.
Of
If I
course.
could give any information for free, money knows I would give any information for free. But it takes a lot. And of course, we have to pay these people for sharing their knowledge. So, can't be for free all the time. Or webinars are free,
Yeah.
or pop-up talk events are free, but the workshops can't be for free, guys. So sign up for the workshop, support local content creators, support Digital Jamaica. We really appreciate it. And until next week, guys. Mo, the final word is yours.
Just want to thank everybody for tuning in to today's show. Really looking forward to all of you guys who joined in the chat today to sign up for the workshop so that you can get more detailed information, because we would have shared, of course, value with you, but there is more detail to everything that we've talked about so far. But yeah, just want to say thank you for joining, and thank you, Kadiel. You're being the biggest trooper. I want to send you to go lie down. But to say thank you to you as well.
Yes. And I know I said final word to money, but guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media, listen to our podcast and subscribe there as well. Visit the blog. These are free things that you guys can do to help the platform grow. All right. And thanks in advance. And we'll see you next week. Bye.